Good evening, everybody. I am Jason Epstein, the PGA Director of Athletics. We want to thank you all for tuning in for Congressional Academy Live tonight. You are in for a real treat, Before we start, we want to make sure everybody has a couple things. First, you need a dollar bill. It could be a 5, a 10, a 20, it could be 100, but you cannot go into mom and dad's purse or wallet to get it. You've got to ask permission. So you need that, and you need 5 T's. So I want everyone to make sure they have a bill. A Monopoly bill will probably be a little too small and too tough. So you need a real bill, and you need 5 T's. Also want you to write down some information. If you have any questions during tonight's academy, I want you to text them to 505-795-1787. Again, any questions tonight that come up, go ahead and text them to 505-795-1787. We'll do our best to get them answered during the show tonight. If for some reason we can't get to them, we will make sure we get back to you by the end of the night with answers and respond and reply. So we promise tonight's going to go a lot better than homeschooling. We promise it's going to be a lot more fun than homeschooling. I know it's going to be way better than Montgomery County Public Schools homeschooling from firsthand experience. So without further ado, our 2017 LPGA National Junior Golf Award winner, you know her as Coach Stacy. So Coach Stacy, the floor is yours. Have a great night.
It is so great to see everyone. I want to let you know that the staff, myself, we are missing seeing you, missing starting all of our classes. But even though we're quarantining, we can still practice golf. And what we're going to practice today is games that you can play inside or outside and to work on your short game. But first, we're going to talk about being fit and getting fit for clubs. Every year, we usually have our junior golf registration, and you'll come in and you get fit for clubs. And we fit clubs for juniors based on their height, and we use the U.S. Kids model. The U.S. Kids has a flexible shaft and better loss to help them get it up in the air and fly a little farther. So we want you to be able to make sure that you get the clubs that are fit for you. I went in March with both my boys, and one grew 4 inches in a year and one grew 3 inches in a year. So they're getting new clubs this year. So what can you do? You can email me if you take your kid's height with their shoes on and email me how tall they are. I can let you know what clubs they should have, if it's green, 57, 54, and if you want ultralight or the Tour Series, I can let you know what they are, how much they are. And what we're going to do is you have 2 options. We can drop them off at your house, or you can pick them up here at the club. So please email me if your kids need new clubs at jrgolf@ccclub.org and let me know how tall your kids are, and we'll let you know what they fit into. Because if your clubs are too short, it affects their posture. Also affects if they can hit that ball. And a lot of times, if your clubs are too short, those are when some of those whiffs come in. So we're going to start out first with putting. And putting, everyone seems to forget. When I drive in quite a bit to work, I see everybody hitting their drivers out on the driving range. Not so many people practice their putting. And if you remember right, 1 putt counts as much as 1 drive. So I can hit an amazing drive and then a great second shot, and then get on the green and 4 putt, and I've kind of ruined my entire hole. So we're going to start with how we set up, and then I'm going to show you 3 games today. So when you putt, the cool thing about the putter is it's the only club in the bag where the grip is flat. So look at your putter, right on top, the grip's flat. You know why? Well, the grip's flat is when we grip the putter, we're allowed to put our fingers on top of that grip. So remember, what we're going to do is we're going to take our top hand, our left hand if you're right hand if you're a lefty, and your thumb can go straight down. Just remember we said our hot dog. And then our bun, we want to wrap it up. And we want our hands to be in the middle. We don't want our hands falling off. We want it right in the middle of the grip. The second thing with putting is we want to make sure that we're set up properly. A lot of times when people putt, they put their arms straight. We don't want to do that. What I want you to do, make sure your brother or sister is not around you. So let's get a little distance away from each other when we do this. We're going to take our putter and hold it straight out in front of us, chest high. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move our elbows in so our elbows are pointing down. Okay? And then we'll bend over. And the putter is supposed to be right underneath your eyes. So I have a trick that Coach Mike taught me. So do you have a disc, maybe from one of the movies that you play? You're gonna need a dry erase marker. Don't use a permanent marker. Get a dry erase marker and just put a line right in the middle of the disc. Now I'm gonna put the disc on the floor, and then I'm gonna put the putter right in the hole. And I can check to make sure that my eyes are over the ball if I just set up and I can see my face. If I can't see my face, I'm too far away. If I see my chin, I'm too close. So that's a fun toy. And don't worry, you won't ruin the disc. It can just wipe right off. So putting is the key, or I like to say, the key to win trophies. And when we're putting, we want to make sure that we're rolling the ball. It's the smallest stroke and the smoothest stroke. So we're going to go ahead and get set up, and we're going to do first, my first game is called the $5 challenge. And I have a $5 bill, and I want you to be about 2 or 3 feet away. I'm going to move myself about 4 feet away. I've been putting on carpet, and that greenskeeper in my house needs to mow the carpet a little bit. It's a little slow. So I'm going to be a little further away so I don't blow it by. But I'm going to get set up, and my goal for this challenge is I want to stop the ball on the $5 bill. So see how it went way over it? So too big of a stroke. So let me do it again. And y'all do this with me. So everybody set your $5 bill about 2, 3 feet away from you. Get set up. I want everyone to give me 2 practice strokes. Okay, 2 good rehearsals. And the reason I like to do rehearsals to figure out how big of a stroke I need. And then I'm going to set up over the ball. And I'm going to look at my target. I always like to look at my target right before I putt. I'm going to make a smaller stroke this time. Sit, sit, sit. Oh! All right, try one more time. Same thing. 2 rehearsal strokes. Everybody do it with me.
Stace, could you actually bet for the dollar while you're doing this?
Well, I told my kids, because I had them do it, and I said that if they stopped the ball on the $5, they got to keep the $5. Now, I have a challenge going right now, and if anyone videos them putting and their ball stops on the $5, they get to actually get candy out of my pumpkin, which I think is sometimes better than $5 because you can come up and demand candy from me. So one more time. We're going to do it one more. See if I can get it stopped on that $5. Hope you can too. A little hard. All right, so what it should do and what it should look like, whoops. What it should look like is it'll stop right on there. So if that happens, you video yourself doing this. Send the videos to my email address. I'm going to write your name down the next time I see you. You get to get some lollipops or Starburst out of the pumpkin. And adults and kids can do that. So that's our first game, the $5 challenge. The second game, you're going to set up 5 tees. And they're going to be about 2.5 inches away from each other. The first game worked on our putting speed and good ball control. This one's going to work on our alignment. All right. And you're going to need, you can use 4 balls for this. If you're inside and you are a strong putter, I would use some wiffle balls or foam balls. If you're not a strong putter, you can use just regular balls. So we're going to start and we're going to work our way left. So I'm going to set up, once again, 2 rehearsal strokes. And my goal is I want every ball to go through each of the railways, okay? So I call this the railway. So I've got 4 streets here that I need to go through. So I'm gonna get set up. Once again, you can make it hard and do it about 2 feet away. Excuse me, you can make it easy and do it about 2 feet away. And then once 2 feet's easier, move to 3 feet, 4 feet. and just keep working on that direction. So we want the ball to go through the tees. All right, that's one. Everybody do it with me. Set up your tees. This is going to work on your alignment. 2 rehearsal strokes. Really rocking those shoulders. I don't want to see when you're putting, I don't want to see you flipping those wrists. I just want you to rock your shoulders. Think of an elephant. When an elephant's walking, the elephant goes like this with his trunk. The elephant doesn't go like this, right? We don't do the downward putting stroke. We want to just rock our shoulders. All right, so we're going through street number 2. Okay, let's see if Coach Stacy can do it. All right, 2 practice strokes, rocking my shoulders. Right through the railway. Oh, I went through the first street. Let me try again. Second street, come on, Stace. Yay, all right. Second street. So I can move to the 3rd street now. All right, once again, 2 practice strokes. Everybody do it with me. We're moving on to the 3rd one. I know you can do it. Rocking our shoulders. I like to wait until my putter starts before I look to see where it goes. What happens is, if I'm on a short putt and I keep nice and still, if you do it right, now I'm not going to a putt, but if you do it right and you putt and you make it, you hear this wonderful sound go clang, 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 clang. That's the best sound ever because you know you made the putt. So railway, that is our putting game number 2. So both of these games, you don't need anything. You have it in your house. And you can practice this. One's going to practice your speed. One's going to work on your alignment.
And Stacy, if they have a tough time getting through the railway from 4 or 5 feet, they can go to 2 feet.
Well, I want them to start at 2 feet and then move them back to 3 feet,
Great.
4 feet, 5 feet. Because we know when we're out there playing golf, sometimes it's harder to make a 3-foot putt than a 5-foot putt. Those 3-foot putts can get nervous. All right, so we'll start there. The next game we're going to do is called Croctology. And Croctology is a Discover Golf game. These are some of the games that we're going to be playing in our individual lessons and our group lessons the next couple of years. And you can get this game on Amazon.com. And if you just type in Discover Golf, Croctology's on here, and it's $99, but you get 4 games that you can play with this. And my boys and I have been playing this at home, and it's an hour of fun. All right, and we alternate and we have a good time with this. Normally what happens, I'm making my life a little easier, but there is 4 teeth. So see how there's the crocodile teeth? And the first game is for you and your family is to knock the teeth down, okay? I've got to knock one of those teeth down. So that's going to work on my alignment and my speed. There's one. Oh, almost. Let's see if I can get the 3rd one. Two. So we knocked them all down, okay? That's game number 1. Knock the teeth down. Then you have this nice ramp. This is where it gets really fun. We want to putt, and we want the ball to stop on the top of the box. Now, that's going to take some touch. It can stop anywhere on the top of the box. I need to have the right speed to get it to go up the ramp, but stop on top. Ooh, that's way too hard. Oh, no! It looks really easy, but it is gallons of laugh. I laugh a lot with this one.
Again, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and text those into 505-795-1787. Again, that's 505-795-1787.
All right, so game number 2, like I said, I got to hit it harder. I'm scared here. Let me get one to get it up there. Oh, I think I'm scared because Jason's sitting here staring at me, and he's like, don't break anything, Stacy, today. Don't break anything. All right, one more time. I can do this. All right, let me give myself a couple
draft starts at 8 o'clock.
Let's try again. All right.
There we go.
But you want it to stop. Now, what happens when it comes with the game are these little bumpers, okay? And the bumpers you can put anywhere. You can actually put one here and have it stop to help you stop at the top. The next is the third game is 3 holes around top of the box. And your third game is to get it in the hole. And I'm going to put a bumper up to give myself a little help. I got to hit it just firm enough that I can get it up there and hopefully get it in the hole. Use my bumper. Come on. Oh, that was close. All right, do one more time. So like I said, Croctology, this is a fun game. The great thing about Croctology is you can play this game inside or you can play it outside. And it keeps you working on your speed. That's Croctology. The fourth game that we're not going to do is it goes over the ramp and you try to get it in the hole. So Croctology is a lot of fun, good family game. So now we're going to move to chipping. Jason, do you have any questions for me?
No, I think not yet. Everybody's sure paying attention and enjoying it. And I think they really wanted you to get it onto the top of the Croctology. That's like putting in the bathtub and trying to stop it downhill in front of the drain.
It takes patience. Possible, you know? It's harder when one person does it. When you do it with 2 or 3 people, like when you do it with your family, it's a lot more fun and you're cheering each other on. When it's by yourself, you know.
I think everybody's wondering whether or not the kids like it more or you like it more.
I think it's probably me. Honestly, I think it's me. All right, so we're going to move to chipping. And how I like to remind you with chipping is it rolls more than it flies. So you're going to need an 8-iron or a 9-iron to chip. Now, the biggest question that I get with most people is, Stacy, why do I not use my sand wedge? Why are you telling me to use my 9-iron or my 8-iron? And you notice how big of an angle the sand wedge is compared to my 9-iron doesn't have such a big angle. Well, in chipping, we don't really want it to fly up in the air. We want it to roll more than it flies. It flies 1/3, it rolls 2/3. So we're going to use our 9-iron or 8-iron. Lots of roll. And when we chip, if you've been in our golf camps, one of the things that we always say is chipping is like chipmunks. Chips run on the ground, and then pitching is like pitching a ball. The ball flies in the air. So that's the big difference. So we're going to use our 9-iron, 8-iron. If you're doing this inside, please don't use golf balls. Please use foam balls or wiffle balls. My son thought I was going to take out a window earlier today when I was practicing, but use them. All right, so the chipping and putting are cousins. So we're going to set up close to them. We're going to put our hands right in the middle of the grip. Now, our 9-iron's different. You'll notice that the grip is different. The grip is round, where that putter was flat. So since the grip is round, my thumbs can't go down the center of the grip. My thumb needs to go to the left side. That's the hot dog. And then I'm going to take my right hand, wrap it up for the bun, and wrap it up. Notice my thumbs are on opposite sides. All right, very important. So when I chip, I'm going to put my hands in the middle of the grip, thumbs on opposite sides, and I'm going to set up to it really close, almost like I'm putting. Notice how my club is vertical, and I'm going to make a small swing, and I'm going to rock my shoulders. Key thing, we do not bend our wrists when we're chipping, okay? Keep them nice and solid. Now, I'm going to give you a secret. This is how you become an amazing chipper. If you finish low, the ball's going to roll, and it's going to roll more and go low. If I finish high, the ball's going to go up and go high. So you'll notice in a few minutes when we're working on pitching that the ball, I'm going to finish higher, and the ball's going to go higher. So we're going to start out with tic-tac-toe. So you'll see the tic-tac-toe grid. And the great thing about tic-tac-toe is you can putt with this, or you could chip with this. So just like we play tic-tac-toe at home on a piece of paper, we're going to play this the same way. If I was playing with Jason, if Jason and I were playing, we would probably have two different colored balls. I would give him the pink balls, and I would have the orange balls. So we would know which one. So make sure you use two different color balls when you're playing this with your family so you can tell. And your goal is to get it 3 in a row. Now, we are going to play it nice today. Is if you get in the box, that's your box. And if somebody else chipped in that box, they could keep it. But the goal is to get it 3 in a row. If you're putting, I would start out and do this right about 5 feet and putt. If that becomes really easy, then move back and do it about 8 feet. With chipping, we're going to make this more of a 20 or a 30-foot chip. And what I had said before, if you remember, our hands are low on the grip. My club is very vertical, and I'm just rocking my shoulders. I'm not breaking my wrists. I'm going to show you what happens when you do break your wrist. All right? So this is what we don't want to do. This, if you saw this on a picture, there would be a big X on my face. This is a no. So ready? I'm going to break my wrist.
Ow.
Did you see how high that went? It went high, and it didn't go slow, okay? So chipping, we want to keep it nice and low. All right, I'm flying at 1/3, rolling at 2/3. So we're going to chip it. I'm going to try and get that center roll. All right, good. I got one. It's on the line, so I'm going to say it's either box. Now, if I was at home, when I do this at home, I get out ribbon and string. You don't have to buy anything. What we used here is we actually used masking tape that I had. I stole it from my husband's toolbox. We won't tell him. But we used masking tape. So you can use ribbon. You could use string. You could use masking tape. You could put little ball markers down. So you can do this inside or outside. It's a great one. All right, let's do it again. So once again, setting up. And for myself, whenever I'm doing anything with short game, I'm a 2 practice swinger. Okay? I like to rehearse it twice. I don't slow down. I rehearse it, and then I rehearse it again. Because once again, it matters how big of a stroke I'm taking. The longer the stroke, the farther it's going to go. So I really need to pay attention to how big of a stroke I need.
Stace, one of the things that I see you do real nicely is you're giving the ground a little bit of a thump when you come into it. It's just you're brushing that grass a little bit. You're not afraid to make impact with the ground. You're not trying to lift the ball in the air to get it to go. You can talk about that for a second. Yeah, so when we chip, we want to brush the grass. I don't want to take a divot. It's a no divot shot, but I like to feel like I'm just brushing the grass. So if there is, if I'm on the fringe or if I'm in the rough, I'm trying to move the rough a little bit. I don't want to take a divot. When you see me hit a pitch shot, you're going to hear a thump. And I like to talk about thumps with pitch shots. So Jason already picked that up, that I like thumps. But here we're just going to brush the ground. And it's nice and easy. It's just like a long putting stroke. Chipping and putting are cousins. They're not exactly alike. Think about your cousin. You're not exactly alike, but you kind of look alike. Same thing in putting and chipping. You look a little bit alike. All right, so nice and easy. We're going to try and get it in one more. Most of you have played tic-tac-toe. If you've done junior golf or golf camps before, we know this. We love this game. So we're going to move on to our second game for chipping. And the second game for chipping is called Frogger. For all of my parents out there, way back when, you might have, remember that video game Frogger? You know, when you're in the arcades? This is kind of like this. Some people call it Leapfrog, but it's easier for me to remember Frogger. And I'm going to take out 4 balls for this game. It's a chipping game. And it's going to work on my stroke and my landing spots, all right? So when we chip, we're trying to land it about a 1/3, and we're trying to roll it 2/3. For those of us that are in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, we're using fractions a lot. Golf, believe it or not,
you use a lot of math in golf. We use a lot of fractions. So when you're out there practicing, you can go back and tell your teacher, I used math this weekend. I don't need any math homework. I used my fractions. All right, so Frogger is the first one. Is we're gonna just chip, nice short chip. That wasn't too short, it's making myself hard. All right, my next shot needs to be longer than that ball, okay? It's got to leapfrog over it. Ooh, okay. Whew. I'm giving myself some hardness tonight. All right, so then my next one has to be longer than my first and my second one. All right. So brushing the grass. Jason remind me, he noticed that. He can kind of hear it in here. It's so quiet in here, you can hear anybody do anything. So we're rocking our shoulders, keeping our head still. Feet are close together, about 6 inches apart. And I need to go a little longer. Oh no, I didn't. So you know what would happen? I'd have to start over. All right, so once again, and what does it work on? It's working on how long of a stroke and how fast a stroke. And the greatest thing about this is we start short, and then we have to go a little longer, and then a little longer, and a little longer. So most people, when they come out and practice here at Congressional, you might do this. They all, like I said, they go to the driving range. They work on their driver. They work on their irons. But after the round, if you counted up how many chips and putts, usually that's where all of our strokes are. So if we, when we're practicing, are able to chip 1 on in 2 putt and get off the green when you're around the green in 3, your scores were lower. And the best way to practice short game, because I have to admit, short game can be a little boring practicing. But when I was growing up, so I started playing golf when I was 7. When I was growing up, I would play games. That's how it kept me involved. And I would play some of these games. So if you came out and you said to yourself, okay, I'm going to play 1 putting game and 1 chipping game today, and that will take about 25 or 30 minutes. And then after you do your short game, go down, hit some irons, hit some drivers, and warm up that way. So next, we're going to move on to pitching. Jace, do you have any questions for me?
No, I think it's great.
Okay.
Real quick, tension is something that comes up. Like how hard do you hold the club on the chip shots, the putting? Talk about just the grip tension and how you're holding it. So putting and chipping, I like to think of a puppy or a kitten. So we all, luckily in our lives, probably have held a puppy or kitten at some point in time. And when I'm putting or chipping, I want to hold my grip just firm enough that the puppy can't run away, but not so hard that we're choking, that the puppy can't breathe. So it's light hands. What happens is if my hands are lighter, then the tension in my arms are lighter and the tension in my shoulders are lighter. If my hands are tight, and if ends up being my shoulders are tight, and then I end up making a long swing, and then what happens is I won't hit the bottom of the ball. So that's a good question, Jason. So we're going to move on to pitching. And pitching, most people tell me, but Stacy, shouldn't I use my pitching wedge when I pitch? No, we use our sand wedge. We want to use something with a lot of loft. So I'm going to show you my sand wedge. Look at that. It has a lot of loft. It has a nice big base. I should have cleaned it. I haven't cleaned it. I went and hit balls in the elementary school and I forgot to clean it. So it has a big base and we need that for this shot. So I like to think of with my sand wedge, I use my sand wedge to hit it over a bunker or to hit it up and over a hill if I'm in a bunker or if I'm 10 or 20 yards away. So one of the games I want to talk about, I can't demonstrate it here, but you can do this in your backyard. And this is a backyard only game. All of our pitching games are backyard only games. And I would still do it with wiffle balls, okay? Unless you have a lot of grass and no neighbors, which I don't,
use wiffle balls. What you're going to do is you're going to put your club down and balls where you're going to pitch from, and then you're going to walk off 10 steps, big steps, really big steps. And then you're going to put one of your head covers down. Then you're going to walk off another 10 steps. That's going to be 20 yards, and put a head cover down. And then if you really have a lot of room and you're like, I want to work really hard, you're going to walk off another 10 steps and do 30 yards. And you're just hitting balls, and you're trying to get them close to that towel. Now, remember, our greens are big out here. We're lucky at Congressional. Our greens are big. And our goal when we're hitting these pitch shots is to land them on the green, because we've been practicing so we can two-putt them in. Don't worry so much of getting really close to that towel, okay? You want to get them right within, just think about 10 yards wide, a small green. Think of it like a green on the driving range, okay? One of those hills is what we're trying to do. So let's talk about pitching. So with pitching, we talked about it, we have a lot more angle, a lot more loft on it. So what we're going to do is we are going to make sure that the ball, and I'm going to face this way so you can see me first, the ball is right hybrid position. And I'm going to give you a trick because it's hard to remember all of these golf positions where the golf ball goes. Hybrid position, watch this. I'm going to tell you, one of my juniors gave me this one, and I use it every time. If you put your club or your hybrid or your sand wedge there, and even with that, that's where your hybrid position should be, or your pitch shot position should be. Just put your club down. Kind of cool. It's right about 2 golf balls from your forward foot. Okay? Then I want your feet to be shoulder width apart. And our hands, once again, we're doing that good grip. So thumb to the sides, good thumb. I want to make sure our hands are apart. I don't want to see any baseball bats. Okay? No baseball bat. I want hands together. Slightly bend our knees. I'm not going to hit the ball because I'll end up doing that, and then I'll end up breaking something in here. Then I really get in trouble. All right. And the best thing about the pitch shot is we're taking it hip to hip, or 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Now watch my hands. This is the key. Ready? See what my hands are doing? We call that a hinge. Right? When I chipped, my hands didn't move, right? They had to stay really soft. Well, I want to hinge, okay? Swing down. You're going to hear me do a thump, and then finish. Guess what? We want to do that dirty toe, but I call it a baby dirty toe. We want to swing at least until 9 o'clock. So I'm going to take 2 practice swings, and what I want you to hear me do is we're going to listen for something, a thump, okay? So when we're practicing our pitch shots, you want to hear a thump. And that's us making contact with the grass and trying to take a divot. So ready? I'm going to hinge. All right. Once again, back just to my hip. Once more. I'm going to a little louder thump on this one.
So Stacy, you're not trying to lift the ball in the air here.
You know what the greatest thing is? See this angle? If I take a divot, the angle pops it up in the air. There's no lifting. The other exciting thing is, I told you this trick, and your parents don't know this trick, so it's a secret. Don't tell them, all right? If we finish high, the ball's going to go higher. If we finish low, usually we're hitting the club right in the middle of the ball, and the ball goes low. I like to call those worm burners. We don't want to burn up any worms out there, so we want to take a divot. So how did we do this? All right, so we're at home, and in my case, I like to come up with crazy things, and we got 2 boxes that are close to the same size, and you can get alignment sticks, or another great thing you can get is, everybody usually has these big rulers, or a broom, or a mop, and you're going to put it about 2 feet high. Now, in my house, I couldn't find 2 boxes, but my youngest loves Legos. And if you have Legos in your house, you're going to start and build yourself 2 even towers, okay? Make them about I would say, you think that's like 3 inches apart, Jason, 4 inches apart, like that big. You want your tower to be pretty big. And you start low and build your Lego tower. And hit over it. If it's easy, hit over it. Then start building it higher and higher and higher. I have so many Legos in my house, I could probably build it to the ceiling. But that's a great way. If you don't have boxes, we like to think outside the box. Where we're going to use Legos. So, ball position, pitch shot, using my sand wedge, okay? If you have U.S. Kids Clubs, it actually says 56 on it. You know what the 56 means? That's how much angle that is. We're using math again. Yeah. See, told you. Tell your teacher you did math.
That's more math than my kids had all week.
You did math. All right. So put my little club right there, making sure ball position's correct. And I'm going to hinge. See, I'm just turning my hands. And I want to hear a thump. All right. Again.
Coach, it's like a field goal. You're trying to get it over the crossbar.
Yep. I'm trying to get it right over the cross. Now, if I had a little more room, I have a hula hoop down there, but I would probably move my hula hoop about 5 yards further, and I would try to land it in my hula hoops. Okay? One more.
There's a word for that. It's called touch. So
Touch.
You gotta have soft hands and a soft shot to be able to get it up and come down and have it not roll so far.
Yeah.
So we want to use our finesse.
Yeah, you want to use your finesse. The other thing is, a lot of us play other sports, right? We play softball and baseball and lacrosse. Get those wiffle balls out. They're a little bigger, and use it for this one. Actually, on our YouTube channel, I am in there, and I moved my recycling can, and I put the hula hoop, and I was hitting over a recycling can. And that was really hot. But I used wiffle balls because I have to be honest, I hit one ball and I hit my neighbor's fence. I had to go apologize. So use those big wiffle balls. Once, it'll help you thump and help you get it up high. The other cool thing about this is, you know what we could do? We could make it really low, and we could use it for chipping. So start out with it low if you use the Legos, right? And I don't have my 8-iron, but I'm going to show you anyway. And it would go low underneath. So I would probably hit 10 shots, and I'd still try to get it in my hula hoop and go low. And then I would make it bigger, get my thumps going, and hit it up high and over it.
Stacy, can we do the crossbar challenge and have everyone that's watching here go and, obviously with mom and dad's approval, find some boxes, find something and set it up, and maybe send you a picture of what they've done.
Yeah.
And how they've kind of created this?
Absolutely. So we're going to have 2 challenges from this one. So we have the first challenge is the $5 challenge. And you're going to video yourself putting, and if the ball stops on the $5 bill, you're going to send it to me, and then you'll get some nice handy dandy lollipops or Starburst, because everybody likes that. Everybody likes my pumpkin. And then the second one is build your own wall. It doesn't have to have an opening. If you can make it just a pure wall, and we're just hit over it and show me your wall, and show me hitting it a couple times over the wall.
By the way, just a small tip: if mom says no, go ask dad.
If you're doing this though, and you have a small backyard, please use wiffle balls. I don't want anyone to damage any windows. Okay, don't damage any windows or damage any fences like Coach Stacy almost did. So, couple things for you. I gave you a lot of games today, a lot of games. And you're like, there is no way, Coach Stacy, I am going to remember this. You were too fast, which is, being from Texas, you would think I would talk slow, but it seems like I got too fast. So we will upload this to our Congressional Golf YouTube channel, and you can watch it back, and you can pause it and do a few of the drills and then play it again. Or you're like, oh, I just want to worry about chipping today. You can fast forward just to the chipping part. We do not expect you to remember everything. That's why we wanted to give you a couple things to do and that you can do with us, but then things that you can do indoors, because it's supposed to rain the next couple of days. But Saturday is supposed to be really nice weather, so get out there Saturday in your backyard and do our pitching challenge and our chipping challenge and improve your game, because we're going to be playing golf pretty soon, and we are super excited about it. It's going to be a great 2020 year. So, you have any questions for me?
No, Stacy, you did a great job tonight.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I want to say one thing. Look, in probably we'll say about 2 weeks, we are going to start challenges, an every other week challenge. So look for some junior golf emails, and we want to do some fun challenges. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you around the club soon.